Viktor Häggström, and I'm the marketing manager for the international division at Haizol. So I'm based here in our Shanghai headquarters. And today in this webinar, we have three executive speakers. That is Marta, and we have Tom and Amir. And as I mentioned, all of these three delegates were attending the past edition that we had held in last November in China. Unfortunately, Sia, our factory manager, had a last minute conflict in her schedule. So I will be covering her part, but at the end of this webinar, I've also invited our overseas business director, Steve, and he's been with the company since day one and will be able to also answer any perhaps more challenging questions that you may have. So you're in good hands in today's webinar session. So just as I mentioned, please do keep your microphone and camera off during the presentation, just to save the network bandwidth for those that have lower bandwidth. And also use the chat function in Zoom to drop your questions at any time, and we'll try to cover them at the end of this webinar session. And the recording and the slide deck will be shared to all of the registrants to this webinar at the end of this session. So today we're covering 5 different segments. The first part is that I'm going to share more information about what the Supplier Discovery Tour is and how you can expect a typical week to look like. Then I'm going to share more insights concerning Haizol's factory network. Like, what does the network that we have actually consist of? So you have a better understanding of the factories that is affiliated to Haizol's platform. Third part is that we're going to have a sharing session from Marta, Tom, and Amir. And then we have our summer 2026 preview. So I will give you some sneak peeks into the 2026 upcoming session. So hopefully that will cover some of the questions that you may have. And we'll end up with a live Q&A session where we'll answer any questions that that come up from your end during this session. All right, so what is Supplier Discovery Tour? So the Supplier Discovery Tour, it is this tour that we have created to help buyers from different types of countries navigate the China custom parts manufacturing clusters. So this is a tour that is specialized in custom parts production, connecting you to factories in China. And so this is a program that we have actually done multiple times in different years. It was first launched in 2019, and every year we have grown it in scale and the number of both participants participating and also factories participating in this program. We restarted it in 2023 after the pandemic, and this is a tour that is exclusively open to only Haizol's members. So this is one of the benefits that you have on Haizol along with your key account manager, right? So, only for Haizol's members. And why did we choose to start this tour? It's because we saw some of the challenges in terms of overseas companies connecting with factories. Many of these factories that are specialized in custom parts production in China, they're actually not attending international trade shows. And also it would be hard to find many of them during the larger trade shows like the Canton Fair. So your opportunity to have the direct face-to-face contact with these factories are quite limited. The other part is just due to the nature of our industry in operating in the custom parts sector. Oftentimes, many companies, you need to have the better understanding of the factory's capabilities by visiting them in person, because it's really hard to make that judgment just by looking at the photos and also looking at their website or their online profile to evaluate their capability. The other part is that it's also pretty difficult to navigate China independently as a buyer. You know, for Haizol, because we were founded in 2015, we have built a very large network of factories. In fact, we have clusters different offices in different part of manufacturing clusters in China that is developing relationship with factories. So we are covering pretty much the entire region of different provinces in China. So our advantage is that we have established very strong relationship with these factories so that we can find basically any type of custom part that you're looking to produce. There is 100% factory in our network that is able to meet your requirements. But doing that alone is very difficult, right? Um, Especially in China, where we have the language barriers, and also it's a big and vast country. So even going from one factory to another is pretty difficult, and to find these reliable factories. The one part that I will mention is that what's really interesting is that with this tour, we are continuously developing it. We are changing things. So what this means is that each edition is actually different from each other. So we're going to have different factories participating. We're going to have a different tour itinerary and different cities. So we're always changing and updating these supplier discovery tour. So I would say in terms of custom parts production, this is the largest organized sourcing tour that you can find anywhere in the world for this type of segment. Yeah. So I think it's really difficult to describe the supplier discovery tour even through a webinar. But what I would like to, having witnessed many of these tours myself, is that I would summarize it that it's basically a fast track, unforgettable China experience for professional sourcing custom parts. Because these are going to be really intense days, and you will be shocked by the sheer volume of factories that you will meet during these intense days. As I mentioned, we have factories all over China. So uh, that is one part that really sticks with me, is that many companies, they're coming here with one mindset, with one type of part or one type of factory they're looking for, but they're leaving China with more inspiration in terms of the capabilities and the opportunities they can find here. Um, Another part is that it's a shared schedule. And what that means is that we are going to divide all of the attendees to the supplier discovery tour according to your sourcing requirements, the primary, secondary processes that you are selecting when you're registering. So we're going to create different groups. This also means that every group will have their own unique experience, because you're going to visit different factories in different cities and places of China, and you're gonna meet different people. This is also, I would say, the unfiltered view of China, because you are gonna be fully immersed in China, both professionally and culturally. You're going to connect with these factories, and with factories in China, in general, the relationship building is very important. So you will be both hearing stories from them, personal stories that they will share in the factory visits, and also in informal settings, you will have the opportunity to connect with them. So this is definitely, if you haven't been to China, this is the fast track experience of learning how to source from China with the niche in terms of custom parts production. The other part, because many of the attendees that are coming here, they might be the first time that they're coming to China. So we also have some opportunities to have some China sightseeing along the way. But all in all, it is a very intense schedule that's going to occupy most of your days. And you're going to get a lot of value, I think, uh, from this experience. So you will hear more about this in the upcoming slides as well. So let's look at the numbers. In 2025, we had 27 countries represented from the attendees. 70 plus were procurement managers, engineers, and owners, and they came from 15 different industries. So what's really interesting is not only is this tour for you to meet factories, but you're actually being in, I would say, a community of different companies coming from different parts of the world, all interested in custom parts production. So it's also in a sense you can build relationships with these attendees that you are with as well. Uh, Factories, it's massive. We have 300 plus verified factories that are participating within the program the last time. And among the attendees, 92.8% were satisfied or very satisfied with their factory visits, and 64.2% submitted sourcing inquiries on the suppliers they met on site. We have 54% of the participants, they noted down that on average they met between 41 to 60 factories during this week that they were here. So the tour consists of a supplier matchmaking event. So uh, at Haizol, because we are the largest company having the vast network of custom parts factories in the country, we host these yearly annual conferences in China where we gather a lot of industry professionals. So the last time we had over 1,000 factory representative attending our conference. We had exhibitor stalls at the conference where the buyers could meet different factories and see their exhibits. And we had 300 plus factories attending our matchmaking event in Suzhou and in Hangzhou. So these pictures here are the general setup of how a matchmaking event would also be looking at. We have different zones. We have one zone for the domestic buyers because actually in our network we have a lot of large companies that are using Haizol's platform also for their supply chain. So we have that part for domestic buyers, and then we have a separate zone for the international buyers. So you will have your own dedicated space there, and it will be kind of meet and greet. The different factories will be coming one-on-one to you and sitting down and talking to you. You will also have a sign telling them in Chinese like what you're looking for. So they will look at that and connect with you. And you will meet a large amount of factories during these matchmaking sessions, and you will get a lot of different contacts from these sessions. Because of the communication challenges that you may face sometimes in China, we do have Haizol's employees as well that are able to help you with any translation during these sessions so that you can have a conversation with these factories. So that's the matchmaking sessions. And the other part is the factory visits. So as I mentioned, for this tour, you will be separated into different smaller groups based on your sourcing requirements. And we are going to visit different factories. How it looks like, generally speaking, it's quite a structured setup, because the first would be that they are going to give you a sort of introduction about their factory, and oftentimes it would be the factory owner or senior management that will be doing that, so that you have a better understanding of their capabilities, certifications, case studies, etc. Then it would be a guided factory floor tour. So that means that you're going to go to the different workshop and you're going to see the live production, because the factories here in China are not going to stop everything because we're coming here. So you're going to see the live production. The employees are working on the spot. You're going to be able to see by yourself the different parts that they have created in the factory. So you can really make an unfiltered and transparent judgment of the factory based on this visit. You're going to even be able to go into their locations where they do quality control, so you can check different things. And along this way, the manager, senior management would be following the factory tour and answering any kind of questions that you may have that might pop up during the visit. And afterwards, you have the opportunity to sit down and have a one-on-one discussion with these owners or senior management to really ask some tough questions to help you better understand of their capabilities. And with this factory visit, so we're looking at dividing it into different groups, right? But we're also going to introduce you to different factories in terms also on the size part. So it's really interesting because you're gonna see the difference in many cases. How does factory on the smaller side look like in China compared to mid-size, compared to large size? Each of them have their own advantages and disadvantages. So I think after you have gone through this factory visits, then you're gonna have a better understanding of what type of size uh, would be a good fit for your company. So I also want to share some of the more information of Haizol's factory network. And as I mentioned, we have a vast network of factories within Haizol. So we are covering 85 cities in China. And among those cities, I would say that 83% are concentrated in Jiangsu, Guangdong, and Zhejiang. And these are the cities that we are going to visit in the next edition. 77.8% hold the ISO 9001, 67% hold multi-processes, and 29.7 hold IATF 16949. So if you have a particular ISO certification that is a requirement for the factories to even work with you, it's good to note that down in your requirements so that we can communicate that internally in terms of the factory visits, and also can communicate that during the supplier matchmaking sessions. So the more information that you give Haizol, the better it will be. And the more in advance that you can give it to us, the better. It's better to give us this kind of information before you are here in China. Yes, as I mentioned, most of the factories, they're located in Jiangsu, Guangdong, Zhejiang, and Shanghai. And this is exactly where we're having the summer 2026 tour. So in summer 2026 tour, I'll tell that in a little bit afterwards. We're gonna be having two tracks. One is the East China Shanghai track, which covers Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai. And the other part is the Shenzhen Guangzhou track. In terms of our network, the main primary processes, 52% of the factories, they deal with CNC machining. 19.2 has sheet metal fabrication as their main primary process. 17.1% have injection molding and plastics, and 10.9% have casting. And these are the main primary processes, but then there are different types of sub-processes that they also cover. So this is just to give you a quick overview of our network. So one thing that I want to highlight in terms of the factory visits, because this is a question we get a lot, like how do we also select these factories? And one of the first point that I want to share with you, and actually in terms of Haizol's revenue model, is that we're not charging our buyers that are using the platform. For example, if you're releasing an RFQ on our platform, Haizol doesn't take a cut. We have no interest in whether or not you are gonna proceed with that factory. So the way that we generate our revenue is from the factories that are having a membership on Haizol. We don't charge buyers anything. This means also in terms of the factory selection, we do not have any monetary incentive in terms of factory visits. We are not charging these factories to participate in this tour visit. And these factories are based on each participant's required process, where we are forming groups, right? These factories have the platinum or gold membership within Haizol. That means that they often have the experience of exporting overseas. These factories we also take into consideration the geographical location, because China is a huge country and we have only limited time, so we want to be as efficient as possible. Also, we make sure that there are factory owners or C-level management present at these visits. So we also have make sure that there's an English translated presentation. We will have Haizol's team available during these factory visits to help with any communication challenges, translating things, so that you have a better experience on these factory visits. So I hope that gives you a better understanding of the general setup of the Supplier Discovery Tour. After hearing from our past delegates, then I'll go ahead and give you a sneak peek into the summer edition. So let's welcome Marta, Tom, and Amir to join me. Are you there?
Yes, hello. I'm here. I'm ready.
Hi,
Marta.
Tom. Okay. Marta, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi there.
Awesome. Yes.
Everyone.
And Amir, I think we have everyone. Okay.
Yes, I'm
Good
here.
to see you. So let's kick off first, and I'll have a couple of questions that I will ask these delegates, and also if you have any questions to them as well, you can drop that in the chat, and we can also see if we can cover that. So I want to start with ladies first. Maybe Marta, if you can give us a company introduction, where you're from, and your company, and why you are sourcing from China.
Hello to everyone, and thank you a lot for inviting me to this webinar. My name is Marta Naumowska-Garnarova. I come from Macedonia, North Macedonia. My company name is Zavar. It's a family company for 38 years. Specialized in welding technologies and production of pressure equipment and processing equipment for pharma and chemical industry. I'm also founder of Association of Metal and Electro Industry of North Macedonia for 12 years already. And this is maybe one of the more reasons that I was so fascinated about this organization. The idea is to also to make a network between the suppliers and the companies from Macedonia and metal sector, in order to get easier both customers and suppliers. The situation with the position, let's see, the position of Macedonian metal industry in the whole supply chain. We have a lot of OEMs, mainly from the automotive sector, and a lot of history, I would say, from the time of ex-Yugoslavia in the metal industry, starting from production of raw material. We have a steel factory, then followed by a lot of factories for pipes and profiles, and then everything which goes around that. And also historically, companies for electric equipment, for transformers, etc. So this is the background, and usually our position in when we talk international supply chains, this way or another, everybody wants to export to Europe, or maybe the headquarters of all the bigger international companies are in Europe. So in that terms, the position of Macedonian companies is when there are smaller batches, when we need to be more flexible and to jump in faster, and from the other hand, the situation is there is a very good positioning of the Macedonian companies in terms of exports, because we are part of Europe, close to Europe, etc. We are not part of the European Union. That makes us cheaper for some companies, but it is since the borders are open for transfer of the workforce. We are facing last few years serious problem with the workforce. I mean, it's everywhere in Europe, in the broader Balkan area, and of course also in Macedonia, which is a really small country, only 2 million people. And the need or the idea in connecting or trying to find Chinese suppliers probably starts from that in order to try to find network and connections on how to work together on bigger projects.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you, Marta. I think also the challenge with labor is something that I've heard from other European countries as well. It's a big
Yeah.
one. I want to give the opportunity for Amir as well to share a bit about himself and why you're sourcing from China.
Yes, my name is Amir. I work for laser company. We are a custom fabrication slash machining shop. We do a lot of big fabrication for different companies here. Some big names including ABB, Schneider. We are involved mostly in the irrigation fabrication, irrigation system fabrication, electrical cabinet fabrication, in addition to custom steel structures as well. Company started in the 90s, early 1990s. We started first manufacturing was actually for air coolers and air cooler parts. Then the factory developed over the years to just supply bigger parts as part of the developing economics here in Saudi Arabia in terms of anything that relates to construction and irrigation. Majority of our parts and structures go into electrical substations, go into big, huge irrigation systems, in addition to also smaller robotics and like robotic support items and like smaller fabrications for custom parts. Where China comes into it for us is a lot of parts that we try to source from China are either not within our capacity, where yes, we do a lot of the stuff that Haizol tries to promote to be sourced from China, but there are still parts that we've been sourcing from China either for lack of capacity or for cost. Certain parts if made in our factory would be much more expensive, so we tend to source these out. Also, some parts we cannot make in our factory, so we tend to also source these out. We've been sourcing from China for the past 15 years, between machinery, parts, and various other aspects for our factory. And then the Haizol Tour, yes, last year was a very good introduction to a deeper understanding of how the Chinese machinist and the custom parts manufacturers work. That I benefit a lot from for sourcing suppliers, but also for learning how things are done in China. They are very different from a lot of other countries.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Amir. And I'll let Tom jump in if you can introduce yourself as well and why you're sourcing from China.
Oh, hi, I'm Tom. I'm running a UK-based company. We specialize in manufacturing recycling equipment. So our main products are machinery for a compacting waste materials. So hydraulic presses, compactors, balers. So I run this business for the last 15 years. Company's a little bit older than that. Now for many years. Many years ago, we started sourcing parts from China just to streamline our production and cut down costs. So we started using very simple channels like Alibaba to source electrical parts. So started getting familiar with the process of ordering parts from Chinese suppliers. Started with the wholesalers, then started hitting manufacturers. Now, Haizol opened completely new opportunities for us because obviously it's a completely different story if you order parts online, and completely different story if you can actually visit the factories and meet manufacturers. So for my personal experience is very positive. So many years ago, I started planning to go to a trading show, which is a Canton fair. That's obviously most obvious. I never had a kind of clue how to start with this, how to approach this, and don't be overwhelmed with the sheer sort of volume of information. What Haizol provided for me, it's a very structured approach, which means instead of being bombarded by a tenth of thousands of companies, we've been just given pretty much on a plate ready meal, which means many factories which can manufacture products, sort of matching your needs. But also the main one was it's pretty much a networking factor or a whole event, which means you can just see with your own eyes how the process of sourcing parts is kind of organized. So from my personal experience, is as I said, it's very positive. So after Haizol trip, we've been provided a couple of options for manufacturing parts, which is resulted from my second visit in China. That was in January. So in January, we've actually dropped a sample order with one of the companies from a Wuxi, that's sort of Shanghai area. So I jumped on a plane, visited factory pretty much the same way as we've been doing that with Haizol. So I just used that as a kind of nursery. So we jumped on a plane, and again. The bonus was Haizol was also very helpful. So I contacted Haizol if we could sort of borrow one of the Haizol employees to sort of join me and help me with the traveling, translation, and all that stuff. So we visited factory, and since then we keep ordering parts from this factory. We've got pretty much 3 or 4 ships currently on a sea. Passing Africa with parts, and we are looking for more. So
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. I would just jump to the second question here because we are a little bit short on time. So keep it at 30 seconds. So I want to ask a question for you here. On the factory floor and at the matchmaking session, you're gonna see a lot of different factories. So what do you look for when you're judging whether a supplier is a good fit for your company?
Right. Okay. So I will stick to 30 seconds. So when we came for the first time, you're gonna be overwhelmed with the sheer amount of companies trying to reach you. So you have to make sure you are ready for it. So what I mean, you have to make sure you know what you are looking for. So you have to be very specific, and you have to be very fast. So virtually, the way it looks like, you've got a table, you've got your own stand. There's a queue of people coming to you, trying to sell you pretty much everything. So within 2 seconds, you have to sort of figure out, you have to judge if that company is relevant. If not, you have to be very consistent. You have to be very, very assertive. You have to be able to tell them no, because you're gonna be hitting a lot of factories in a virtually a very, very short amount of time. So be prepared. Be prepared with all your drawings. Be ready to tell them what you want, and be ready to tell them what you don't want. So this is the key. Also, make sure you've got clearly sort of you've got clearly very clear information on your sort of on your nameplate what you are looking for. This is my key.
Yeah, thank you,
My key
Tom. So
advice.
just to link back to that, what he mentioned, you have to let us know in advance. In your application, you can have a company information that you insert, but you can also let your key account that if there's any specific that you want us to have in your table at the matchmaking events, please do tell that, and you have to tell it in advance, not at the day of the matchmaking event. Yeah.
That's the key.
Thank you, Tom, and I will let Marta answer this question. Same question as well. Curious
Thank
to
you.
hear your thoughts. Try to keep it at 30 seconds.
Yeah, since you already said pretty much, yeah, it's very important to know exactly what you're looking for, to be prepared in advance, to prepare enough business cards and flyers eventually, but most important of all, to prepare your drawings and to know how to lead the discussion and do this selection. Also, to be prepared to give a pitch about yourself, your company, and what you're looking for. It sounds simple, maybe, but we are not always prepared. So this is also very, very important, because when you have that, and it's a good exercise, the video you are asking from everyone to
Awesome.
give. Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Marta.
yes, the best part, I think, of everything are the company visits. I think it's the most valuable thing, because as Tom said, you never get that often.
And how about in the factory floor? If you're looking at the factories, anything you would recommend them? What do you look for if this is a factory you would shortlist when you're at the visit?
Standards, the type of machines, also observing how the factory is set, how the workers are behaving. I mean, it's at least from my side, which is also because these things tells beyond the classical company profile, and you always be ready to ask questions.
Yeah, that's good.
And
Always ask questions. Yeah.
the only obstacle sometimes is the lacking of knowledge of English, and which probably it's for the future of the better collaboration, which probably besides of these other quality and technical things, it's for sure one of the things that you seriously consider someone as a supplier or not.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Marta. Thank you. And I'll let Amir jump in here. Is there anything you would like to add upon that? Amir, are you there?
I'm sorry, my mic was muted.
Okay.
Sorry. During the sourcing events, you're gonna be overwhelmed with a lot of people trying to get to know what you're trying to do, what you're looking for, and whatnot. And it becomes very chaotic at a certain point. So I second what Tom was mentioning, that like it's very important that you know exactly what you're looking for, and that is communicated very clearly. and that be very polite when you're telling people no, because like sometimes a lot of these people are like coming here looking for an opportunity. To move on to a little bit to the factories, some of the stuff that I look for usually are machine maintenance records. Gives you a good idea about whether the machine shop or the factory is basically keeping up with their maintenance, with their scheduled maintenance and whatnot, and whether that all that process is actually documented properly. Instrument calibration. We visited a lot of QC rooms in a lot of these factories, and like to be able to check those records and make sure that their QC related equipment is also calibrated and updated and whatnot. Shop floor management, like looking basically whether things are arranged in a proper manner, ins and outs, rejection bins are clearly marked, etc. That gives you a good idea about the prowess of the factory, whether they're applying the ISO standards or not, or whether they're applying the quality requirements and such. And standard operating procedures, like if let's say in some of the assembly related factories that we visited, we've seen that they had like a very clear SOP documents, like with every worker, where the worker can clearly see basically what they're supposed to be doing step by step. Other factories did not have that, so they relied heavily on the workers' knowledge and memorizing basically those steps and just doing it. So those type of things gives you a good indication whether the factory is following proper standard procedures or not, and whether it would be a good partner to move along with or not.
Yeah, thank you, Amir. And I think maybe you already shared a little bit about this earlier, but what's the value that you got from the last tour, and also why are you coming back in the next edition?
The reason why I'm coming back was something that I requested the last tour, and you guys answered it thankfully. I wanted to be able to visit the southern part of China and the manufacturing powerhouses there. I've already been sourcing from that region, and I would love to work with Haizol certified suppliers there, because we've already been trying to source from the Shandong area, and we had some challenges in terms of pricing and whatnot. And some of the Haizol team suggested that sometimes the Guangdong area might be a little bit cheaper in certain sense. Some of the things that I enjoyed a lot from the previous tour was the factory visits, and as I mentioned before, it opened my eye to a lot of like how China is different in terms of manufacturing. We met, like, there's a quick story, I know, like, not to go over the 30-second, but like one of the factory bosses, he was giving us a tour, and he was very proud about how, like, every time they had an issue, they would like a process that they wanted to automate, they would actually go around and manufacture the automation in-house and test it, and their engineers are very involved in it. So that ability in China to make to improve the process and introduce new equipment or introduce new fixtures or molds or whatever it is at such a high pace is very unique, and it's very very important in this day and age. That excited me a lot, and I want to see more. I want to see more of that.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing, Amir. And I'll let Tom jump into this question. I know you also covered anything you would like to add upon this. Why are you coming back to the next edition? And try to keep it short, Tom, 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep it short. So why we are coming back? Pretty much like Amir and Marta. We would like to still cover, sort of look for more connections and still cover the areas which we didn't manage to cover during first visit. So So I'm not really. I'm my kind of specific of the parts I'm looking for. They're not CNC they're not CNC machine parts. I'm more into larger custom parts, steel sub-assemblies, sheet metal, hydraulic cylinders, hydraulic manifolds. So those are the areas which are being still developed by Haizol. Haizol was very supportive in a kind of looking for this. So yes, so I would like to sort of carry on looking for new opportunities, carry on looking for new areas. So couple of which yesterday I came back from a Canton fair. So I had a glimpse of what Canton, Guangdong province has to offer. However, doing that by just by yourself, it's extremely chaotic. It's very difficult to sort of navigate in that region. So yeah, so I need a little bit of the guidance. That's why kind of Haizol is the way to go.
Thank you. And I'll let also Marta share why you're coming back for the next edition.
Uh, well,
Maximum 30 seconds.
yes. Since in November was my our even first time to even visit China. It was explosion of information and but what sticked with us there was this sea of opportunities that there are to be explored. You can even learn a lot. I was amazed from the level of digitalization, commitment, as said before, from the part of the factories, and it's really, I think, a lot more to be explored, and different kind of parts and different kind of collaboration. So yes, I would always rather come back and explore.
Thank you. Thank you, Marta. And also, I know you shared some tips earlier, but if you would say, give some recommendation to these that are considering to come here, what should they prepare to make the most out of this trip?
They should be prepared also physically, to be honest, because it's really intensive, 6 day intense, 6, 7 days. To be prepared to communicate a lot, to be prepared to with concrete drawings, as I said earlier, and enough materials and the right questions, of course.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Marta. And I'll let Tom, anything you would like to add upon this?
Right. Let me turn microphone. So yes. Physical preparation, as Marta said, that's crucial. It's at least for a European people from a Europe, it's a massive time zone.
Yes.
I don't have many opportunities to sort of travel through so many time zones in a very short space of time. So physical preparation is the one thing. Second thing is you have to prepare yourself with a kind of necessities to navigate to China. So there are a lot of videos on a TikTok, on a YouTube. So the key is make sure you set up VPN. Make sure you've got a good eSIM provider. My recommendation is a trip.com. That's recently probably best value for the money when it comes to access to internet, accessing Wi-Fi in a hotel. For me, with a PC, it's doable. With a mobile phone, I've never managed to sort of do it by myself. So make sure you equip yourself with a good eSIM with a lot of data, good VPN, and obviously two apps which are essential for a China. WeChat, which is essential communicating app, and Alipay, which is a platform. So So that's pretty much the
Perfect.
only thing from a
Yeah,
personal point of view. From a professional point of view, the key aspect is make sure you got all your drawings with you. Make sure you got as much information about your company, and make sure you kind of you are physically prepared what you for a sheer amount of information you're gonna be bombarded with.
that's a
So
really good
so that's
advice.
it
Thank you,
pretty much.
Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'll let Amir, anything you would like to add upon that?
I want to add.
I think Tom, they covered most of the points.
Yeah.
Just on a personal point, there are a lot of long bus trips. Bring something with you, like if you're the type of person who likes to read, bring it with you a book or something to just to use during that time, or prepare to be able to sleep in the bus sometimes to catch up on some of those lost sleep. In a professional level, if you are serious about like selecting suppliers during this trip, bring your supplier audit checklist. Like if your company has a proper checklist, bring it with you, and attach every business card you collect to one of those, and actually go through that checklist, because the sheer number of people that you're going to be meeting, it will be very difficult for you to remember which one matches your requirement and which one does not. And writing like some notes on a business cards on a piece of paper, you're going to lose that. So be prepared with a proper checklist of your requirements. What are the things that you're looking for? And then every time you meet a supplier that you think has the potential, fill that checklist and save it, like whether it's a piece of paper or your phone or whatever, so that you can refer refer back to it when you go back home. And I again second the whole SIM card thing. It's SIM card and a VPN is a must. You don't want to be disconnected from the world, especially for those who are used to using Google services and whatnot. When you go to China, that's not going to be there. So get a proper SIM card, whether it's a local SIM card with a VPN or an eSIM with a VPN. That will help you a lot navigate, China during this trip.
Perfect. Thank you, Amir. Yeah, that's really good advice. And also, like these delegates mentioned, you should bring your design files. Even some, they are bringing a sample part. That's also really good. So better you bring anything or everything that you think you might use, because it can come very handful in this tour. So thank you, Amir. Thank you, Marta and Tom, for sharing your insights. And I will be sharing more information about the upcoming editions. I do apologize that we are running a little bit behind the schedule, but I'll try to keep this brief. So there are two tracks that we have this edition. One is the track A, that's for East China. The second track is track B, and that's for Greater Bay Area. Actually, all of the participants in this tour will first gather in Shanghai, and then it's going to be split into these different tracks. Now, the Greater Bay Area has already been filled, so we're not accepting any more delegates to this tour. But we still have the spots left for the East China. And if you haven't secured your spot, then you need to start preparing for that. And what we mean by securing your spot, that is when you have purchased your flight ticket. It is not when you have had the communication with your key account manager. So your spot is not secured until we have the confirmation of your flight ticket. So how is the schedule? The first day, the 11th, you're going to arrive in Shanghai, and we arrange complimentary airport pickup from Hongqiao or Pudong. These are the two main airports in Shanghai. Then we have hotel check-in, and you can rest. The second day, we also have the morning for you to assimilate to the time zone, right? Because Tom mentioned it's very difficult, perhaps with the time zone changes. So in the morning, you're going to be able to relax in the hotel, and in the afternoon, we will have our team on site. So our team on site can answer any questions that you may have about the tour. We can also help you set up the Alipay, which is one of the payment methods here in China. So we'll be there on site at the hotel. In the evening, we have a welcome dinner where we will share more details about the groups that we have formed and about the upcoming schedule. The third day, it's our flagship day, and that's where we are hosting our 9th Global Procurement and Supply Chain Breakthrough Conference. So it's gonna be a massive event where we have a lot of different factory representatives. And in this event, we have a Haizol showroom and a conference. So we're gonna have an exhibitor zone where both exhibitors from custom parts production will be, and there will also be what I hear now is a robotics zone where there will be some companies displaying robots as well. The main session for you guys this day will be the supplier matchmaking session. So it's gonna be a massive event because we have the most network here in Shanghai, Zhejiang, and Jiangsu, and these factories are gonna come here. There's even gonna come factories from other provinces just for this day. So you will meet a lot of factories. The fourth day, we have a factory visit in Shanghai in the morning, and then in the afternoon and evening, you either have a free time or you can attend Haizol recommended sites. So we're gonna organize a sightseeing in the evening. And the reason why we keep a free time is, as these delegates mentioned, it's gonna be very intense days, and some of you are owners, managers. You may need to communicate with your employees back home. Some of you may want to have private conversations or meeting with factories that you already have established network with. This is the day where you can have that opportunity to either have your free time and do your own things, or you attend the recommended Haizol sites, because the upcoming days is going to be very intense for you. It's going to be, just to give you a heads up, anywhere from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m., 8 p.m. I would not put any meetings during these hours. So try to block your schedule just for your own sake, because as much as we are trying to be efficient and manage the times when we're going on factory visits, there's only so much we can control, because there are external factors like the traffic in China and other situations. So just bear that in mind. The day 4 is a perfect time for you in the evening China time if you want to have your free time or you want to attend Haizol sightseeing. Day 5 for the Shanghai group, we are going to visit 3 factories across Jiangsu province. And these factories are divided again according to the groups that are formed, which is based on your sourcing requirement that you note down. Day 6, we're going to have 3 factory visits across the Zhejiang region. And then we are going to say goodbye and return home on day 7. And then for the other track B, they will be going to Shenzhen on day 5, Monday, the 15th of June. And they will attend 1 factory visit in Guangdong. Then we have another matchmaking event for them in Guangzhou in the morning, and 2 factory visits planned in the evening. And then they're going to return home either from Shenzhen or from Shanghai. So this is the general itinerary. And when you arrive on spot, we're going to share more details about the factories that the groups that you are allocated to and the type of factories you're going to visit. But again, if you haven't secured your flight ticket yet, you have to do that, because we are going to start closing the registration soon. So please secure your spot. You don't want to miss out on this. The other recommendation, you have to tell us upfront about your sourcing requirements if there's anything specific, because you cannot come to China and it's harder for us to accommodate if you're giving us this type of information on spot, because we are already planning for these factory visits. It's a very organized tour. So please make sure that you note down your sourcing requirements in your application so that we can formulate put you in the group that is most applicable for your requirements. what's included and what's not. So included, we have a 4-star plus accommodation. It's 1 room per company, maximum 2 people, and it's including breakfast. All ground transport, so we're covering the airport pickup, we're covering the transfers within China to the different factories and the venues. We are covering all meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So if you have any dietary requirements like halal or you're allergic to something, then please also note that down in the application form or communicate with your key account. You're going to have access to Haizol's conference. And then we have we have different Haizol team members that will be on site during the factory visits and supplier matchmaking sessions that will be able to translate anything from Mandarin to English. And we can also help you to prepare official invitation letters so that you can secure your visa to China. But the visa fees and all of this is not included here. So many countries, especially in EU, Middle East, and South America, don't require a visa now, so they have free visa entry. But I recommend that you contact your local Chinese embassy or just to check what's the regulations in your country, right? And so we are not covering the flights to and from China. We are not covering your visa application fees, travel insurance, personal expenses, or other costs. So these are the things that is included in the package. And these are the 2 hotels that we have for this tour. So one is the one in Shanghai, Le Méridien Shanghai, and the other one is in Shenzhen, Courtyard by Marriott Shenzhen, if you're in track that goes to Shenzhen. So in the Shanghai hotel, we will have the matchmaking event as well there. So you will stay at the hotel and we will have the matchmaking event close to the hotel. So it's very convenient for you. I also emailed some questions before, asked for some questions to you guys, and these were some of the questions that I received. So I'll quickly go through that. But if you have some questions, then please drop it in the chat and we'll get to that. So the first part is like, what type of parts and processes are covered on the tour? As I mentioned, Haizol is for custom parts production. So we will cover CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication, injection molding, die casting, stamping, forging. So it's not going to be, if you're looking for a machine, we don't have factories for that. If you're looking for consumer goods, it's not the right tour for you. So this is for custom parts production. And can I arrange private meetings with the factory I'm already in contact with? So you're going to meet a lot of factories. Some of them want to lure you to their factories and have private meetings. We always want you to stay at the schedule because it's very hard for us to keep track of everyone if you're drifting off. So please schedule all of your private meetings outside of the scheduled tour hours. And the best window for these meetings are in late evenings after you return to the hotel, or optional the day off when in June 14 on Sunday. But you can also come to China the day or even extend your trip and stay a few more days so that you can have any meetings privately after the tour is closed. Another question we get is whether you can still join Track B. Track B is the one that goes to the Greater Bay Area. So that one is filled out. We are not accepting any companies more for this, but we still have the spots left for Track A, which is East China. So please do keep in mind, and we will be closing this once the spots have also been filled out at the Shanghai edition. Can I bring a colleague and can I arrive early or depart late for the hotels? So our hotel accommodation is covering up to 2 people per company. And also 1 hotel room is included for your company. If you need a second room, then there will be an additional charge. And our hotel is only covered during the duration of the tour. So if you need an extra night before or an extra night after, please do contact us so we can make that arrangement. But there will be an extra cost that you yourself have to pay. And I think that will be around 750 RMB, so over $109 per night. And what should I prepare before the tour to get the most value? I know we already covered that, so I'll just briefly say this, that please bring your drawings, your product specifications, any list of clear required processes and certifications and quantity expectations. So the more that you bring in advance, the better you will have here, especially with the factory match. And again, I really have to emphasize this point. Please note down your sourcing requirements to the key account. Okay. And I think these were some of the questions. Now, if you have any additional questions, please drop it in the chat here, and we will be doing our best to answering that. And I have Steve joining as well.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining this session. I'm here to answer your questions. Hi, Tom, Amir, and Martha. I want to specially thank you for joining this session with
Hi,
us.
Steve.
Hi, Tom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
can't wait to see you in June.
Yeah, perfect.
Amir.
Cannot wait.
Yeah. So,
Awesome. Yes. Do we have any questions here? I see. Can we have the recording of the meeting? Yes, Waswa, we will send the recording after this webinar, probably tomorrow. Cannot they test and provide certificate of the final product? I'm not sure what you mean, Wasawa. So can you please ask that question again? And we have a question from Zari. Thank you. Anyway, so do you mean if you're going to be able to see a list of factories that are attending the matchmaking event? Is that your question? Or do you mean participants, as in other participants, buyers? I think you mean the factories.
yeah, I think the
Yeah.
factories. We cannot provide the list of factory now because we will invite those verified suppliers to attend, but sometimes it depends on their schedule. Yeah. But mostly like what Victor have mentioned, they are from OEMs, custom manufacturing. Yeah. We deal
Yeah,
with
so many of these factories in our network, I forgot to mention that they also work with large domestic buyers, like because in China they manufacture virtually everything in the world, right? So uh, their buyers is from these large M&Es as well. So yeah, we have many different factories. Should we chat with Haizol member on email about products that we want to source?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can directly chat with those verified suppliers. And the good thing is if you have any issue later, you can always come to us because we are here in China, and then we can help you to solve if there is some issue.
And also, I want to share one advice that you also can do ahead of this trip. If you're coming here, you can submit an RFQ at highsouls.com at our platform, and then you can already get some contacts, get some factories, because many of them will be coming. The ones that are quoting on you in the platform, they will be coming to these conferences. So then you can just message them and tell you, okay, let's meet in person, right? So if you have some particular products, maybe you have a very niche product, then that can be a good idea to just post an RFQ on Haizol, and then you contact them and tell them to meet you at this matchmaking event when you're in China. I mean, since they are visiting my desk. Okay, Zari, yes.
So most of the supplier, they don't have a desk. But during the events, there are also some supplier, they will take up the booth to exhibit their products. So actually you can visit, most of the suppliers, but not for all of them. Yeah. Enter the second word is visit in Shanghai.
Yeah, we have two tracks, right? We let me go back to that slide so you can see we have two tracks, and that is track A and track B.
Yeah, one team will go to East China and one is for Greater Bay Area.
So if you are in track A, you will be in East China. So that is not just Shanghai, it's Shanghai, it is Jiangsu and Zhejiang. So the factories in Jiangsu and Zhejiang provinces. Yeah, so I want to see if there's any more questions. Please feel free to drop the chat.
No more questions?
No more questions. I think that's pretty much covered then. So in case you have some questions, then you can also reach out to me directly. Do you need cash? Okay.
It's better that you download the Alipay apps on your phone and then you just use your credit cards to link with the Alipay. And then you can do the mobile payment everywhere in China. Yeah. I would say 99.99 all the shop can accept Alipay. So you do not need to bring any cash.
Yes. Yes, China is a cashless society, so everyone is using either Alipay or WeChat. Yeah.
The weather on June most probably is about
It's hot.
20 to 30.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe daytime is around 30. Nighttime is about 20. Yeah. I didn't get question. What question?
Yeah, so what can you please write your question because we didn't get that. Yeah, please.
It's better you just link the credit cards with Alipay. Yeah, because sometimes the credit card may not accepted everywhere in China. So before you arrive in China, we also advise you to sign up a WeChat. Yeah, it's like WhatsApp, but WeChat is popular in China. Yeah, so we will have a group.
Yes. Yeah, we will create a WeChat group and also add you on WeChat. So this is one app you have to download before you come to China because we want to make sure that you can get in touch as well with the driver because we're gonna have the pickup, right? Yeah.
Do you give certificates of the finished product? Maybe you means if the supplier give the certificates of the finished products, right? So it will depends on what type of products and what type of certificates you require. Yeah. They give test of the finished product. Yes, you can request the suppliers to provide QC reports to you before you receive the goods. Or most of the time, you can just ask the supplier to produce a sample together with the QC report and ship to you.